Hey folks, welcome to another weekly update. In today's update, we're covering off tech news, we're covering off Azure news, AWS news, and Octopus Deploy news, and also there's some Office 365 news in here as well. So stay tuned because you don't want to miss this update. Hey everybody, welcome to another weekly update from myself, Sarah Lean. Now, I know I have a few new subscribers to the channel this week, so thank you to those people who have recently hit that subscribe button. If you're joining today and you haven't hit that subscribe button, please do hit that subscribe button because you will get notifications of my future videos, and I do these videos every Friday, or at least I try to do them every Friday. So yeah, we've got a lot of news to cover today, so let's get started. The first news I want to cover off is a community event is kicked off and has started, and that's the Festive Tech Calendar event. Now, this is an event that's been running for 3 years, I think now, by Gregor Suttie and Richard Hooper, and they have basically got a bunch of techies together to share some news and some information and some fun stuff every day of the month for December. So there is tons going on in this event. Very excited about this. I was part of the kickoff on the 1st of December. And yeah, it was fun to talk about. I'm kind of involved in two initiatives during the month. So the first one is through my work. So with Octopus Deploy, we are sponsoring a kind of hackathon competition. So check out the information about that because it'd be awesome to see you enter because you could win some amazing Octopus swag. The second initiative that I'm involved in is actually an Ask Me Anything with my good friend and colleague, Lisa Clark, or Lisa at the Edge as she's known on social media. We're doing an Ask Me Anything on the 8th of December, so join us on here live for that on the 8th of December, where we'll be chatting away. We've got a bunch of questions to ask each other, and we'd love to hear your questions as well, so definitely join us because that should be fun. And I'm sure two Scottish lassies will not be shy in answering questions or be shy in filling the 60 minutes that we've promised to deliver. Now, in terms of the tech news this week, I want to kick off with some Microsoft Teams news. Now, if you've ever used Microsoft Teams live events, you'll know and probably wary of the big notice that says if you start this event and you end it by accident, you can't restart it. And I've always been wary of that and been worried about it, to be quite honest. And it's been a feature request that people have asked to be fixed or removed or changed. And that has now went generally available. So if you accidentally stop a live event or something happens, a technical glitch, you can now actually relaunch that same event. You don't have to kick off a new one. So it means that if you've shared that link, if you shared that registration link with people, something goes wrong, you can restart it and you're not scrambling about trying to set up a new one and then share the link to everybody that needs to be there as well. So great new feature that I didn't see announced a lot. I just happened to notice it on the roadmap for Microsoft Teams. So yeah, great new feature within Microsoft Teams that a lot of people have been asking for. So another feature that has been much asked for and has now went generally available, I believe, is the Azure VPN NAT overlay. So your network address translation within the Azure VPN can now actually overlap your on-premises, branches, networks, or other spaces. So if you have an overlap of networking within Azure and another space somewhere else, the Azure VPN NAT translation allows you to do that and is supported now. So that's going to be a great feature for people that are maybe in the middle of a migration, that are maybe looking to move or do a hybrid configuration or have some weird configuration that they're trying to solve by moving to Azure. That's going to be a great feature for them as well. So another feature that I know has been much asked about is support for wildcards within the Azure App Gateway or Application Gateway. So you can now actually put something like asterisk or wildcard or star or whatever you want to call that, contoso.com, and then it actually redirects to maybe a single listener at the back end of your application gateway. So you could have shop.contoso, you could have accounts.contoso, you could have retail.contoso.com, pointing all to the single listener because you're using a wildcard that just points anything that's .contoso.com going off to that single listener. So yeah, that's another great feature. And I'm a big fan of some of the application gateway stuff, and that's available for helping with that kind of networking, routing, and front facing of your applications as well. So I want to include some Octopus Deploy news in this weekly update because there has been some great announcements and great new features in a recent release that we have done here at Octopus Deploy. I'm saying we, I haven't been involved in it. I've just joined as the team have got ready to announce it. But that is config as code. Now it's still kind of as early release for customers or early preview for customers, but you can go and use that. And what this feature allows you to do is actually use code configurations to configure your deployments. So you can use the graphical user interface, you can use that familiar Octopus Deploy interface that you're used to and click some buttons, or you could actually write the code that makes that interface look like that. And you can be interchangeable as well. So if you have someone who likes to use the GUI, but someone who likes to write the code for those deployments, then you can use both. They're interchangeable and they work well together. Also, as part of that launch, we've launched a Visual Studio Code extension that helps you write that code and help you with the syntax highlighting, all that kind of good stuff. So definitely check out the Visual Code Marketplace if you're using config as code, because this is an extension that can help you get that correct and use that. And we are looking for feedback on both of these features, both of these bits of tools within the Octopus Deploy environment. So reach out and get in touch if you're using them and you have some feedback for us as well. Now this week we have seen a lot of Microsoft MVPs announced, some new people announced and brought onto the programme, which is fantastic. Congratulations to everyone involved in that and receiving their Microsoft MVP award. I know it's a massive undertaking, so well done and congratulations. I want to make sure that everybody knows that if you are a Microsoft MVP or a friend of Redgate, I believe their programme is called Friends of Redgate, you are entitled to a free Octopus Deploy license. You can get a license that will help you deploy to 50 targets. So whether that be 50 virtual machines or 50 web apps or whatever it may be, you're entitled to that free license. So reach out to us at mvp@octopus.com and we will take care of that for you and help you get started on your Octopus Deploy journey. We're always encouraging new people to try out the product, and we have been known to give out some swag if you share some blog posts or videos with us about your experience with Octopus Deploy and show people how to use it for problem solving as well. So congratulations to all those new Microsoft MVPs, and yeah, reach out to us if you want to try Octopus Deploy. So there's also been a random bit of tech news that I spotted in the news that I want to cover off, and it's quite interesting and a bit entertaining. One of those end of year facts that the media like to roll out. There's a street here in Swansea in the UK, which is in Wales, and it has the fastest broadband of any street in the UK because it can download a 2-hour movie in 47 seconds. Whereas there is a street in Cheshire, which is in England, that has the slowest broadband in the UK, and if it was to download that same 2-hour movie, it would take 48 hours. So that's quite a difference between fastest broadband and slowest broadband here in the UK. It just shows you how much work we still have to do in terms of actually achieving parity and having that inclusivity in terms of, you know, being able to access services and broadband across the country here in the UK. But yeah, random factoid that I thought I'd throw into this weekly's update. Now, there was one bit of news that came out of AWS Re, which has been happening, is still happening, not sure if it's still happening, time zones are hard, in Las Vegas this week. Slightly jealous that people are at an in-person event and conference and in Vegas, because I do like in-person events at Vegas. I have been a few times for some work events and been there personally as well. It's a strange city, strange town, but I do love it. I do love those kind of experiences, and hopefully one day I will get to go back. But what caught my eye at AWS Re was a service that they launched for the US at the moment. So there's quite a lot of detail here, so apologies for those that are watching me on the video. I am going to read this out just to get the news right and proper for you. So they've announced a service called AWS Private 5G, which is going to be a managed service that helps enterprises set up and scale private 5G mobile networks inside their facilities. So with just a few clicks inside your AWS console, I'd love to see if it really is just a few clicks. Customers can specify where they want to build a mobile network and the network capacity needed for their devices. AWS then delivers and maintains small cell radio units, servers, 5G core and radio access network software, and subscriber identity modules, which is a SIM card to you and I, that you need to have this private 5G network and connect your devices. And it's previewing in the US. So that's quite an interesting service, quite an undertaking, I imagine, to actually do all of that and roll that out and be able to scale that for AWS. I didn't realise that was a use case, that people were looking for that kind of service. They were looking for their own private 5G mobile network inside their facilities. I imagine maybe AWS or Amazon are actually one of the use cases for that. Maybe they're looking for that in their own warehouses for their delivery networks and stuff like that. I'd love to hear more if people are actually needing this kind of service, if people are going to use that, if they've heard of what the use cases are, of who this service has been built with, because obviously they're building it with people in mind and customers in mind. So yeah, I'm sure there's lots of AWS reInvent other news. I'm going to start to skill up myself in AWS, to be quite honest. I think I'm going to start off learning some of the basics and see if I enjoy it, see how I got on, and then see if that's something that I can add to my skill base. It's definitely something I want to improve upon. I love Azure. I always be a Microsoft fangirl, but I want to try and scale up and learn some new stuff in the new year. And that reminds me about something that someone said to me this week as well. Consistency matters. To make a difference, to be good at whatever you want to do, whether that be doing what I do, being an advocate, being someone in the IT industry, being a runner or a horse rider or whatever you want to be in life, consistency matters, showing up and doing the work. Sometimes you won't want to do it. You won't want to crawl out your bed at 5 a.m. in the morning to go and do that practice run before you go to work or go to school or whatever it may be. But if you do that hard slog, then the rewards will come. So consistency matters. And I think that's something that I need to be mindful of and focus on a bit more in 2022, and look forward to all of that. So yeah, just finishing on that bit of word of wisdom that I received from someone close to me this week. So yeah, stay consistent, people, and the results will come to you. And thank you so much for tuning into my weekly update. Hopefully you found it useful. I'm away to find some gloves because my hands are freezing, and yeah, I'll catch you in another video, folks.